What's up, soldiers? This is Sergeant Merrill, and I'm feeling inspired to share a bit of my past experiences with you based off of quite a few emails that I've been receiving from you guys. But real quick, before we get into that, as a part of being a director for Yoush, we get the opportunity to see some very cool sneak peeks at upcoming movies and games. And this time, we got an awesome first look at The Rise of the Planet of the Apes, which is a movie that premieres August 5th, which is this Friday. Guys, based off of what I've seen, this movie looks outstanding because it's so much more than just, awesome CGI and great actors. It actually has one of those weird things, based off of what I've seen, that movies are lacking these days, called an interesting story. But check out this exclusive clip that I got from it.
Here you'll see Caesar displaying purpose, outrage, and tenderness as he comes to the aid of his friend Charles, played by John Lithgow, who has helped raise Caesar since he was a baby chimp, but who is now suffering from Alzheimer's disease.
Caesar, eat your food. Dad, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Now, most of these trailers are going to show you action and whatnot, explosions and stuff like that, but I wanted to show you that there's much more going on in this movie, and I can't wait to see it. But if you're looking to get tickets ahead of time, I went ahead and put a link for it in the description. And Yoush is going to be getting a lot more exclusive content like this in the future. So if this is something you'd like to see more of, be sure to let me know. I'm happy to include you guys on some of the content that I get access to. But on to more relevant things, let's start with the gameplay. Have you ever been playing Black Ops and you're just getting completely frustrated with both your teammates and the fact that you can't generate those high kill streaks? This is the class for you to start with. It really makes the game fun. It makes it so you're not so angry about those ghost campers, those people that are running around acting like jackasses on the other team, because you're going to get your first kill streak, your 3, 4, 5 out the door really quick, especially with Hardline where it becomes 2, 3, 4. And then it's just a matter of just playing quickly, generating kill streaks. You got a counter UAV up the entire time, and you got your little care package to kind of just mix up the gameplay so you can get those higher kill streaks if you so choose. And that's what I'm doing in this gameplay. I played against these same guys in the lobby before, and I just really wanted to take a breather on this one. Really just get to enjoying the game instead of being such a tryhard all the time, especially with how these guys were playing. You'll see this guy running around with C4 and hiding in a corner the entire time. It's very frustrating. And this is actually a really close game. I'm not going to ruin it for you. I may win, I may lose. You're just going to have to watch and see. But like I said at the beginning of this video, I want to talk about some past experiences because that's one of the number one things that I get hit up on with my messages is the experiences that I had within the military. And I wanted to talk about one of the biggest ones for me, which was living in a different country. And I want you to picture that for a second. Just imagine that in your head, that you are going to be living in a different country and you have no choice in the matter. And I was a small town country boy at the time. I was raised in Southern Virginia, and I still have a little bit of that twang in my accent. But, everybody knows your name there. You go to the gas station, you recognize people. You go to the diner, you recognize people. And you get into this twilight zone. I still do it every now and then when I go back home to visit. I get in that twilight zone. And, it's comfortable. It's home. And when you're forced to move away from that, it's frustrating. It's not just frustrating. It's disheartening. It's scary, is what I would call it, because change is scary when it's forced. Change is awesome when it's motivated for you to do something about it. But when it's forced, it's scary because you have no control in it. You can't go to your diner, every Sunday. You can't go to your favorite gas station and get a soda. You can't go to your girlfriend's house down the street. And that's where I was when I got the news that I was going to be leaving for Korea. I was heartbroken. I was ruined. I was literally in ruins. Heartbroken because I wasn't going to be able to be with my girlfriend anymore. You're literally on the other side of the world. And in ruins because I was having everything that I knew taken away from me. And looking back at it now, I wouldn't have it any other way. Okay, it turned out to be one of the best experiences in my life. And it reminds me of this quote from a book I've read. And this book is about change, about how we rise up from change. And here's a quote for you. We all want things to stay the same. Settle for living in misery because we're afraid of change, of things crumbling to ruins. Then I looked at my life, at the chaos it has endured, the way it has adapted, burned, pillaged, and found a way to build itself back up again. And I was reassured. Maybe my life hasn't been so chaotic. It's just the world that is. And the real trap is getting attached to any of it. Ruin is a gift. Ruin is the road to transformation. End quote. Now, I've had many transformations in my life, and I still have many more ahead of me. From learning to live, thrive, and appreciate a country with a culture that's just radically different from my own, to the transformation that is only 8 weeks away from me, where I'm going to go from being a son to being a father. So my advice is, don't fear change. Don't fear ruin, because these are the things that will unexpectedly define your life, and it's going to be nothing like you imagined. But looking back, it's going to be so much better. One of the biggest worries I see from my subscribers is that, what are they going to do with their life? They ask, what will I do after graduation? And my answer to you is to just freaking grab life by the horns and don't fear the change that comes. Learn to be excited by it, to thrive in its wake, because the person that you become afterward is going to appreciate it. And that's one of the things I enjoyed about the military. It forced the change that I needed to grow. It took me out of my small town, kicking and screaming, and slung me across the world. And I wish I could say I had the balls to do that on my own. And I hope I can convince some of you that you can have the balls to do that on your own. Home will always be there, like a lullaby that melts away your worries and replenishes your spirit. But if you spend too long there, 10 years will go by in a blink. And I'm sure some of you older people that are listening to this know exactly what I'm talking about. When you go back to your hometown and you talk to your friend that's still working at Chili's and you say, hey man, what's been up? What you been up to? And he says, oh, just working. Just been living, just been working. You find out that he's been married, divorced from some girl that he went to high school with because he didn't have the balls to go out and find a girl that it actually really did work with. You find that you have very little to talk to him about. But I don't want you guys to just think that I'm talking about the fear of travel, because it's perfectly fine staying in your hometown. I'm talking about the fear of change. Don't avoid something because you're afraid of the change that it'll bring. You know, this can be applied to pretty much every lesson in life. When it comes to relationships, don't be afraid of being shot down. You know, don't be afraid of breaking up with your girlfriend because you're afraid of being alone. You know, don't be afraid to go for that job that you wanted because you're not sure if you could do it. And on the other side of that, don't be afraid to leave a job because you're afraid that you won't be the same person without it. Now, I don't want you to take this message and think that it's okay to be irresponsible because if you ruin yourself, you're going to be a better person. That's not what I'm saying. Be responsible, but don't be afraid. And I'm sorry if I'm sounding like I'm preaching here. It's not what I mean to do. I just like to share my experiences because those are the messages that I get. You know, you guys want to know what it's like being in the military, what it's like experiencing what I've experienced, at this point in my life. And I do like to share that, even if sometimes it seems a little preachy. And I'm telling you, here in 8 weeks, I'm gonna have to start practicing what I preach because I'm gonna be a father of a little baby girl. And that's a transformation I just can't wait for. I'm excited and scared for it all at the same time, but it doesn't mean I'm not going to face it all the same. It's extremely scary, staring in the face of fatherhood, because you have to look at all your experiences. You have to look at your life, what you've learned, and if it cracks up to actually giving the advice that you need to be a good father. You know, and that's what fathers are known for. Fathers are known for their advice, for being the rock. And I can only hope that I can be that for my daughter. And it's a transformation that I think is already taking place in my mentality. You know, I feel that my shoulders need to be a little broader, my hands a little more weathered. I'm starting to act like my own father in situations that I normally wouldn't have acted that way. And it's I think it's just this instinct that kicks in, you know. And I was very blessed with my father. He was very, very much the rock of the family. Very stalwart, very, very strong, and just not just physically but morally. And it's a good thing that I instinctually start to act like him. And it's such a weird thing to see because you don't know it until it happens. You'll be in a situation and you say something and you do something and you're like, holy shit, I'm my own father. And if that's not enough to worry about, I have to worry about the mother's curse. And if you don't know what the mother's curse is, then you're very lucky. And the mother's curse is where your mother looks at you with a very stern look and she says, I hope you have a child just like you. So I'm extremely worried because I've had that happen a couple times at this point. But we're coming up on the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We triple capped for the win. And if you want to see more of that Rise of the Planet of the Apes content, I got a bunch of sneak peek trailers and stuff like that I believe are exclusive for Yoush. So if you want to see that, let me know. I'm happy to share it with you guys. But that's all I have for this video. This is Sergeant Merrill out here.